Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into I Me Podcast on Anchor with me, your host, Tashiana Mickens. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. First, let me start off by saying Happy New Year's to everyone. And if you're new to the podcast, let me tell you a little bit about the show. I Me Podcast is an open diary about my life and how I decided to open up to you all. Now, at one point in time in my life, I kept things balled up and I broke down. And one day I decided to tell myself that I have to come across all these stages in my life in order for me to grow. And the only way that I can speak on them is if I do a podcast. Why? I have no idea. But I felt as though that I'm not the only person that goes through these feelings inside. And if I am able to get these feelings out and come across to someone else, maybe I am able to help them out in their life. Show support. So now here I am. I Am Me Podcast is finding the true you and letting go of tomorrow and living for the present. That is why the show is called I Am Me Podcast. So let me introduce episode 24. Episode 24 is called Actions Speak Louder Than Words. Now, I know a lot of you are like, oh, child, hold on. Let me go get my tea or my beverage real quick and hold on. Well, all I have to say is, honey, while you go get that cup of tea or whatever, pour me a cup, okay? So sometimes we tend to speak out loud about what it is that we're trying to accomplish to another individual, not knowing that we're hurting ourselves. Meaning, you say one thing and do another. You can almost say anything without believing in it. But what I found out in the end of 2019, listen, this is what happened to me. What I found out in the end of 2019 with myself is that it's much easier to lie with your words than with your actions. Yes, I said it. People are always observing you and how you're moving. So once I learned that, I told myself that I will accomplish a lot of my goals in silence. Silence is powerful. I'm going to say it one more time. Silence is powerful. Remember that. Let me say this. I spent a lot of 2019 trying to do business with other people. And all I'm going to say is I will no longer waste any of my time or my energy on anyone anymore. Okay? Do I regret it? Do I regret it? No. If anything, I learned from it. And if I wasn't able to learn from it, maybe I'd be still in the situation that I was in. So that's why I learned from that situation and I moved on. Sometimes people with bad energy pray that you don't become better than them. And my mentor broke this down for me. Sometimes people pray that you don't become better than them, meaning a competition. With that being said, here's the thing. There's no such thing as competition. Everyone's path is meant to walk different. So you walk yours and you let them walk theirs. If y'all were meant to bump into each other within that path, then y'all bumped into each other. But for right now, you do you and you let them do them. Words are cheap. It applies to almost every situation in life. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's business, whether it's work, whether it's meetings, events, parties, basically everything. Words are cheap. Sometimes the way people conduct themselves in different situations shows behavior and conduct than what you express out loud. It's like a child not shown affection by their parent when they were young. And when they grew up, they didn't know how to embrace that affection to their spouse or to their child as an adult. You know what I'm saying? It's about actions. It's also, people say things and make promises that they really have no intention of keeping. This happens all the time. I also see, adults telling a child to stop bullying another child. But when I see them on IG, they bullying an adult. How you going to tell a child not to bully somebody else, but you're bullying another adult, calling them out their name, or calling a female out their name, or calling another child out their name, whether they are a celebrity or whether they're an influencer or whether they are whatever they are on IG, you're still being a bully. You can't tell a child if you're not leading by example. It's all about actions, because at the end of the day, they are observing you. So with that being said, let's stop that. This was one of my main problems, that I'm currently working on. Not the bullying that I was just talking about, but me speaking on certain scenarios on my life, on my goals that I was accomplishing at that time. But now that I know how to maneuver, now I can move on in my life and do what's best for me. And that's actions. I don't want to keep everybody too long on this episode. So remember, you are what you do, not what you say you will do. With that being said, I want to thank you for tuning into IME Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe to my channel. Also, you can find me on IG at Tashiana Styles. The Styles with a Z. I am your host, Tashiana Mickens. See you next time on IME Podcast.